distracted by flapping skirts or garters. I think it would be too much for us. But we are asking our audience to bring a blanket because it's a very atmospheric performance in a barn, candlelit, rather chilly. So do wear something warm, bring a blanket, bring a cup with a ribbon wrapped around it to share the wassail, and the bean cakes will be dished out.
Well, wassail, I mean, you said it was a sort of cider drink and that, but what's the origin of that? Why is it called wassail?
Wassail comes from the word washail, which is greetings, apparently. A very ancient tradition, a pagan tradition of welcoming the harvest, celebrating the greenery. A lot of Christmas was about celebrating the depth of winter. It's sort of really pagan-based rather than religious.
So it had nothing to do really with the birth of Christ at all? It was almost just winter time?
It's a strange mixture. A lot of the music is heavily Catholic, actually. I mean, William Byrd, who features in our performance, was a practicing Catholic. Such an amazing musician that Elizabeth turned a blind eye. So some of the songs that we're singing are just the story of the Nativity, but on the other hand you've got this huge extravagance of feasting and partying and very irreverent goings on, electing the Lord of Misrule, who gets up to all sorts of mischief, as you will find out. But alongside you've got these absolutely beautiful pieces of music.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It is.
That's good.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, we'll take a break now. We're going to play another tune, and this is a young lady singing as well. Tell me a little bit about that then.
Kate is probably the most astonishing singer I have worked with in my whole life as a musician, and I won't give my age away, but I'm well into my 50s, and very strangely I met her in Gorcott. We were both teaching in a primary school, and she was the dinner lady when I started, and her daughter was in my class, an astonishing musician, and all the teachers said, well, you know why Flo's so good, because her mum's such an amazing musician. So our paths crossed, and I heard Kate sing and she heard us playing viols, and we both come from a similar background in early music. So 5 years ago we got together with some friends and produced some concerts for Aylesbury Festival at Claydon House, which were all historically based, so there's lots of research and lots of script writing, but I think you'll hear that her voice is just astonishing.
Okay, let's have a listen. What a fantastic voice, isn't she?
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Yes.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned while that was playing that your daughter's involved with the sort of musical side of things as well, yeah?
Yes, yeah. She's been working with us for the last 5 years, and she is currently in the second year of her Masters at the Royal College, so she won't be there with us at the weekend because she's in Holland at the moment competing.
Oh, my word.
Busy girl.
What a talented family. Now, how large is the group? I mean, how large is it,
We've got a core of 4 viol players. We've got various other people who come and join us depending on the repertoire, and we've got a series of readers. So we have a really fun performance which is about the diaries of Samuel Pepys, and have a super friend who reads for us then called John Alexander. We've got a lovely keyboard player called Gary Sealing, who organists will know rather well. He's been round the block a few times. And we have a lutenist and a theorbo player called Dawn, who moved up to North Yorkshire last year and still comes down to perform with us occasionally, but won't be there on Sunday. So it's sort of hardcore, and we draw people in.
Yes. And the instruments that you play, I mean, are they all Elizabethan type instruments?
They are. I mean, the group, as a group, we think it's really important to educate people. So our performances have a lot of speaking, and I like talking a lot, as you can gather.
Oh, no, that's fine.
So we do. We share with the audience about the instruments and about the music, and we look into the social history, and we try to share the fun things, because I think the thing to us about Elizabethan music is that most of it was for amateurs to play, that everybody was a musician. It wasn't something somebody did at school and gave up. You were expected to do music. It was never seen as a profession because you could never earn any money at it, because there were so many people who were really outstandingly good musicians. But the repertoire we play, a lot of it, if you've been playing the viol for a year or so, you can get round it and you can enjoy playing together in a group. It does take a sudden leap into the realms of virtuosity. So Piers and I have both found that the music's either quite easy and playable and it all sits under your hand, or you're leaping all over the place and doing lots of string crossings. So we both kind of reached a stage where for about 10 years we shut ourselves away and we practised extremely hard so we could get over that boundary.
Get it right.
Yeah. But it's music for sharing, and the music's fun. It's it's not serious. The Elizabethans actually loved melancholy. They saw great beauty in sad music, which is why most of it is in a minor key. But they thought that was absolutely beautiful. It wasn't because they wanted you to sit po-faced and listen. It was very much music for dancing and music for joining in. Everybody sang. If you had a party, if you had a gathering at home, you get your part books out and you would join in and sing with each other. In the same way, a lot of houses kept a chest of viols in the house, so when you had guests, you could just take them out, you could get the music out and make music together.
And of course, I suppose because that was their total form of entertainment and that, and also, dare I say, a certain amount of alcoholic beverage was consumed as well.
Rather a lot. In the case of Henry Purcell, it was probably the cause of his demise at the very young age of 36, because his wife wouldn't let him back into the house after he'd been out down the boozer with his mates. He's quite an amazing person. We just listened to some Henry Purcell, actually, which Kate was singing. He wrote an awful lot of very, very rude songs. The rugby club would be shocked.
Yes, that's good. Well, back to Sunday, because that's a couple of days away, actually. Excuse me. And it's on at 3:30 in the afternoon, at the Westbury.
Yes.
And how much is it going to cost me to come along?
It's £12 to come along, including your mulled cider and your refreshments. Really good value for the afternoon. We're really keen to get people along because Westbury have been just so supportive of us, and they are a charity, and it is their mission to promote the arts in the community. So we're just so grateful that we finally got some recognition with them.
It's a lovely arts centre as well, isn't it? So it's
beautiful.
But of course, you're going to be out in the barn, so you do, as you say, recommend that people take along some warm clothing. and a blanket or so.
It's a fabulous space for us. We performed there in September and we absolutely fell in love with it because it was just the right setting. It's quite informal and it's very intimate. We're going to have candles, all sorts of things.
Yeah, I was going to say, because within the barn, and I have been there before, but my memory serves me right, it's one of those small, intimate things, isn't it? You're not going to get hundreds of people in there, are you?
No, I think a absolute maximum of 50.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, it's going to be very, very cosy.
It is.
Shall we say? Listen, Sue, thank you very much for popping in this afternoon and letting us know all about it, because I think that's something that, I mean, obviously, unfortunately, it clashes with Bonfire Day, the 5th of November.
Of course.
But you decided quite correctly to do it in the afternoon from Upper Street. How long is it going to take?
Maximum of 2 hours. So anybody going out to enjoy the fireworks, you've got plenty of time.
Oh, that's good then. That's good, because you can go along, enjoy yourself there, have some wassail or some apple juice if you're that way inclined, and then go off to the fireworks. But we're going to go out on a final piece of music. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, this is a piece of music by Orlando Gibbons. He had a very florid name, was an absolutely wonderful English composer. The thing about the music from this period is that it all comes from the English Golden Age, and actually it was a period where Elizabeth and her father Henry patronised music in a really big way, and for some reason we had this cluster of really outstanding English composers that the rest of Europe looked at us and imitated and valued. So Gibbons is one of our greatest composers, wrote an awful lot of church music which is still performed all over the country, and quite often we get to perform that in cathedrals and sort of traditional choral evensong. But he wrote some really beautiful secular, unreligious music. The Silver Swan is very, very well known, and I've heard a lot of amateur choirs singing it. We perform it in the way it was meant to be performed, which is as a consort song, and that's actually a madrigal, so it's a 5-part piece of music, but only one of the lines is sung, usually, but not always, the top line, the soprano line, and the other 4 parts are played on the viols. The viols, and I haven't said anything about them, perhaps I should.
Well, presumably the violins, are they?
No, they're nothing to do with violins, interestingly. They are a Tudor instrument which the English particularly loved. They sort of arrived in Italy around 1400, 1410, and Italy at that time was a series of states, and many of them were Spanish, not Spanish owned, I can't think of the word, ruled by Spain.
Yes, yeah.
So, for example, Naples was ruled by Spain, and we believe that the Spanish took the viol to Italy. It's very similar to an instrument called a vihuela, which is a big guitar basically, with frets and strings like a modern guitar, but it only plucks, and the beauty of the viol is it retains all those features. So it has frets like a guitar, it has 6 or 7 strings like a guitar, it's tuned like a guitar with a third in the middle, but we use a bow to sustain the sound, rather like a cello. So even the little one, which is roughly violin size, is held between your knees, and we have slightly bigger ones called tenors or altos, a bigger one called a bass, and the double bass, the sort of modern double bass, is the last surviving viol which is still used in an orchestra. They're not orchestral instruments, they're really specific to the period from about 1500 to about 1750. So Bach writes for them, there's lots of French music, but really the last of the English composers of the Golden Age to write for viols was Henry Purcell, who took a big sort of retrospective view at the Golden Age composers, his forebears. He wrote 12 fantasies for them, absolutely beautiful, very hard to play. So you will hear the viols and the voice and the Silver Swan.
Sue, thanks a lot.
Thank you.